Hey, what up, stream? Thanks for joining. Sorry I'm late. I was having some technical difficulties here, but I think we're good to go now. So we're going to do some live SEO audits. Something I've been excited about.
Hey, what up, stream?
If you're joining late or you're watching the
Sorry,
replay,
I'm late. I was having some technical
I'm going to try to do this
here, but I think
every
we're good
Monday,
to go
I'm thinking, but
so
I'll just
we're
have to
gonna
see
do some
pretty much how things
live
go
SEO
and kind of go from there.
Something I've been excited about. Hey, what up, stream?
And I'm going to be doing
an
audit of some sites that I just chose. I just chose
every
some random
Monday,
sites
but
until the channel gets big enough
to
to where
some
pretty
people
much
are
how
actually
things go
SEO
and join
kind
and
of go
leaving
from
their
there.
site.
Something I've been excited about
right now,
what up, stream?
And I'm going to be
doing some
doing
random
site audit
some
sites that I just chose law firms that I saw ranking pretty low. Gets big enough to do
pretty much
actually join
audit,
basically just going through the site right now. And then I'm also going to take a look at the site through some sites that I just law firms that I saw ranking pretty low. Gets big enough. So right now I'm actually set up join audit set up right now going through the site about also going to take a look at about 8 years now. Ranking pretty low. I started out doing marketing. Right now, pretty much web development. And while I was doing web development, I had someone at the company, the VP of marketing, actually wanted me to optimize the sites that I had created for the company. So that was pretty much my introduction into SEO, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was just reading articles, and then after that, I worked at an agency where I actually learned SEO. They taught me how to do it really good. From there, I managed site migration for a university. It was contract work, so I was there for a year. Manage their migration, make sure everything was good with their SEO after the migration. And then from there, I worked at another agency. And let me just go back. My first agency I worked at was local services. So it was mainly dentists, but there were some other clients that we had. For example, I had a restaurant client. I had a small e-commerce store. And then so after I managed the migration, I worked at another agency, and this was an agency that only worked with e-commerce sites. So these were large e-commerce sites, usually around 50,000 to 100,000 pages, and I also optimized 3 or 4 sites that were over 2 million pages. So these were some really big sites, really big time earning sites as well, money wise. And then I worked at another agency as senior SEO, and that's more for law services, so law firms, lawyers, pretty much. And yeah, that's pretty much my background there in SEO. I've been doing this for a long time. I've also made a lot of my own sites, so I was able to test out strategies like black hat strategies, for example. I tested a lot out on my own sites, and these were affiliate sites, drop shipping, just all those kind of sites that I optimize myself. So tonight here we're going to do some live audits, and yeah, so I got Screaming Frog running now. And I'm just going to pull up the site and take a look here. And I'm going to go through everything I see on the site. And then I will pull up the Screaming Frog crawl when it's done. And go through that, just the technical issues. And yeah, I'm going to do that for, I have a few sites here that I chose. I'm probably not going to do all of them. I'll probably do maybe 2 of them, I'll say. So we'll just see how things are going here. So glad you joined. Let's get into it. So this is the first site I'm going to take a look at. And this is a legal site here. So I'm just taking a look here through it. And of course there's no hero image, which isn't necessarily an SEO thing, but of course something you would want to fix. And then here we have some internal links from the home page, and looks like these are okay. I have some more internal links here, and so if you look at this internal link right here, it's linking to the home page, so we're on the home page. So there's really no point in having this internal link here. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. We got some more content, and the content seems okay. I think it could be improved. Looks like it's kind of just all over the place. Going through here, we have a bullet list. We have a couple bulleted lists here. And then we have, these look like links, but they're actually not. So that's kind of strange. And we got some FAQs and then the CTA. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to take a look at the title tag. So this title tag I would change to be more for branding, because this right here isn't really branded. It looks like they're just trying to fit as many keywords in here as possible. Also, I would redo this description here. It's not that great. Doesn't necessarily make me want to click. There's a better way to do these descriptions. Got the H1, which is right here, and so that's fine. Taking a look at the about page. The about page is a little strange, just because it has these lawyers, and then you have them again over here on the sidebar, and then we have a lot of some FAQs over here on the side. So I wouldn't recommend this. I recommend building these out better. Anything, I would have it as an about the firm pretty much, and then I would have these going to their own pages. So each of these lawyers should have their own about page. And then also, let's take a look at the title. So again, these titles can be improved. It looks like they're just really trying to target this keyword really hard, but it really comes off more as spam, kind of spammy. And then taking a look at these, so this is a strange site structure already, because services. Okay, looks like alright, so we're having some issues here, but I think we're good. Now. That was weird. So yeah, these FAQs, this is just a strange way to build a website. These would ideally be services pages. So let's just take a look at these. So here we have, it's symptoms of mesothelioma. And the content seems okay, but again, you have this sidebar here that is just really kind of strange. It doesn't really allow you to target the page as well as you want, because you have all this other content here. Just taking a look at, let's take a look at the title tag. So again, not really targeting specific keywords, doesn't look like. And also I would improve this description And this is important because the description is what gets people to click. And the more clicks you get, the higher you can rank. Because if you're getting more clicks than the page that's ranking above you, you're eventually going to outrank that page. So that's why we want to make sure our descriptions are as good as they can be, pretty much like a little advertisement for that page. And so just looking at this page already, I'm going to click into it. And again, have the sidebar. Looks like the content is okay. And then here we have this internal link going back to the home page. And again, this is something that I see a lot of people do, but the home page is the most powerful page on the site. So there's really no need to internally link back to your home page. You want to create silos with your internal links, with your site structure. So this is something that I see a lot. And on top of that, it just really seems like they're just doing what they can to get this entire keyword in here, which I would recommend against doing. So just looking at the content, seems like it's all right. Got some headings here, some good headings, got a bulleted list. So it's okay. It looks like it can be improved, but again, we have this title tag, and this is just not a good title tag. I mean, if anything, we want to target our keyword, and then we want to put the brand. And if we're able to target like 2 keywords, I would say multiple, but you typically don't want to target more than 2 keywords in your title for a page. So if we could target another keyword here and improve this title, that would be the best case scenario. And then here, I think this is fine. You typically want to start with your H1 first. So it looks like, let's see, where is this coming from? Because they have a contact us, and then the floating form, free consultation. So it looks like this could be within the code, which isn't terrible, but if possible, we want the H1 to be the first heading that is seen within the code. That's just a SEO best practice, and it has been for a long time. So, and then I wanted to get to this, so we have the diagnosis, and then how can I get treatment? And so if you look at this URL, it's within the menu, it's under this category, but then if you look at the URL structure, it's not. It's just right off the root. So it looks like this site has a flat structure, which again, I've seen a lot of people do, but it's much better to separate these pages with subfolders, and that helps with categorizing them. So you would have diagnosis, and then you would have another subfolder for treatment. So here's this page, and again, I'm going to take a look at the heading. So like the title, it's small, it's not really, it doesn't really target a keyword that well. I assume that they're trying to target this as a keyword, but I would take a look at competitors, and then also the URL doesn't really match that either, and it's just a best practice to try to get the URL to match with your keyword. It helps with user experience, and then it really just helps with crawling and indexing. So again, we have these other headings above the H1, which is something we would want to fix if possible, but the H1 being here is okay. Let's take a look at, and then the look and see if there's any internal links here or the content. So let's take a look at the content real quick. Another thing, there's this H1 here, and then I assume this is a H2. So let's take a look. So yeah, you usually want to have some content after each heading. You don't typically want to double up headings. So this is the H1, and then it goes straight to a H2 and then some content. So ideally, we'd want to have some content here in between, basically as an introduction to the page. Answering this question would be great if we could put a paragraph here answering this question concisely, because this is, if someone lands on this page, this is the question that they're asking. So we want to answer their question as quickly as possible, and then we can go into more detail about some of the other things. So we have these H2s here. Looks like the content is okay. I'm just kind of skimming through it. So these are all of the treatments. We have an internal link here, and again, internal link going back to the home page. And this is just not, it's not needed. You should be sculpting your essentially link equity, link juice to flow throughout the site within silos. And this is what we use: subfolders, we use internal links, we use site structure to help create those silos and reinforce them. So let's go and check out one more of these pages. So again, we have the H1 straight into the H2. And so this is good. I like this. So they have this question here, and then they're answering the question, and then they have a bulleted list. And whenever you can do these kind of things, you want to, because sometimes these lists like this will get picked up by a featured snippet if you're already ranking on the first page. Whenever you can do these kind of things, you want to. We have another bulleted list here. These lists like this will get picked up by a featured snippet if you're already. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to target military service. Another bulleted list here. And so here, I would say, let's take a look at this. What is this? Okay, so this is a H1 actually. I was assuming this was a H2 and an H3, but this is actually a H1. So we only want one H1 per page. So you can see they have two H1s here. So we only want one H1 per page. That's the best practice. And then on top of that, you have this military service. And ideally this would be a H2. And then it talks about this. And then this would be a H3. But it wouldn't really make sense because this isn't just talking about military service. So when you nest headings, the top heading should contain all the information that's associated with it. If you're starting another type of, let's say you're talking about something else in the next heading, it should be the same. So if this were a H2 and then we're talking about products next, this would be a H2 as well, because this is not associated necessarily with this. This is something different, because this could apply to everything that's not military. Got some bulleted lists here. We have a internal link, and this is linking to this page, one of the pages we were just on. So you can do that, but I would recommend against it. Again, just all of these pages are strange because they just should be services pages. This should be like a practice area page. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I wouldn't do this, but I wouldn't set any of this up anyway. It's just not, it's not a good site structure. And then again, we're linking to the home page with this as the anchor text, one of the lawyer's names, I believe. Actually, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't really understand what's happening here, why they use this as an anchor text. I know this is the brand, but it's not really being showcased anywhere else on the site. I guess they were just trying to use the brand to internally link to the homepage. So I wouldn't do that. I don't think it's very good. This is a better title tag. This is pretty much how we want our title tags to look. We want the keyword, and then we want the brand. And then this description is better. I would say we don't have to put phone numbers within the description, because someone's going to click to the site and then they're just going to click on the phone number. So there's no need to use your few characters to insert the phone number. I think that could be used much better. And then it looks like, again, we have, okay, I already talked about the two H1s. So, and then taking a look here, so it looks like we have a lot of areas we serve pages. So I'm going to check out one of these. And it's really strange because you can't get to these pages through the top nav. So this just makes for a bad user experience, as well as crawling. You don't want to. It's not easy for Google to crawl this site and understand exactly what's happening. I do like the breadcrumbs here. It's good to have breadcrumbs, but when you do this, it just makes it look kind of spammy, because in Google's eyes, there's going to be all these pages that are asbestos attorney in whatever city and state. So there's just going to be a lot of those. So let's check out the title first. So again, this is a strange title tag. You can see that they're definitely trying to target this town, and then instead of putting the brand, they put this. So this isn't what the business is called. They're just trying to get, I would assume, more keywords here, especially this keyword right here. So I would redo this title tag. Again, this isn't a very good description. It's just, looks like they're trying to fit in as many keywords as possible. I mean, right here, this is just a whole string of keywords it looks like they want to rank for, and then they mention the same keyword again. So you typically don't need to mention the keyword twice in your description, and then it's just strange that this is capitalized here. So let's take a look at the headings. Looks like the headings are structured fine. I also see that it looks like these sidebars are H3s, which is strange. So yeah, it looks like these are H3s. So I wouldn't recommend doing that as well. I mean, I would remove these anyway. There's better things you can do with a sidebar. And then again, we're internally linking back to the home page. So all of the link equity that this page is receiving, say if there's a lot of backlinks to this page, it's just going straight to the home page, which again is not needed because it's the most powerful page on the site already. And so let me go back down here. I thought that was really strange. So you don't typically want to do this because you're just listing all these locations, and some of them are links to actual pages, but it looks like most of them are not. So that's just not a good best practice, especially when so many of these are not even pages. And then on top of that, you have duplicate locations right here. Let's check out another one of these. Okay, so this is a strange H1 right here. Looks like they're trying to get the city and the county. So if people are searching the county, this could possibly make sense, but there's still better ways to target that. If people are searching the county more than the city, then just target the county. But that typically doesn't happen. Most people will just search the city they're in. I've only seen a handful of instances where people actually search the county more than the city. So let's take a look at the title again. And again, here we go. See, this is exactly what I thought. They're targeting this and trying to target this county within the title tag instead of just putting their branding here at the end after they've targeted their primary keyword. Again, this is a strange description. You can write these descriptions better to get people to want to click, while also making sure that whatever keywords you inserted in there makes sense. And then let's take a look at this right here. Let me just go through the page a little bit. So again, it looks like they're not real. It looks like the headings aren't nested very well. So we have a H2. So this is a H2. People in West Virginia are exposed to asbestos more than most. And then so this is a look at the numbers. So this heading should be nested under this because this is directly related to this. So this is a H2. We should make this a H3 because these are just the stats for what the previous heading was talking about. And then here it just goes straight into a question, and it's the exact same. It's also a H2. So here we would want to go H2, H3, and then we would want to put some kind of H2 heading here, maybe frequently asked questions. And then we could put a couple sentences introducing these questions, and then we can have these questions as H3s if this is how we wanted to do it. And again, linking back to the home page, internally linking back to the home page. We don't need to do that. That's not needed. It's not helping anything. Google's smart enough to know what this business is called, so you're not really helping anything by linking back to the home page. And then also, through all the pages I've been, there's no links for the phone number. So you typically want to just include this as a link. So if someone's scrolling through this on their phone and they get to the bottom here and they like what they hear, they can call. And that's not necessarily an SEO thing, but just a user conversion, user experience type thing. And then here we have directions to the law firm. And I see a lot of people do this as well. And this is not something you need to do. It's just, I feel like it's something that people have heard, but you don't have to include this for your local pages. This doesn't really help much. We have a Google map embed. That's fine. I don't mind that, but I wouldn't do this here. And then again, we have the phone number that you can't call, and we have the address. So let's take a look at the blog. Okay, so it looks like there's some big time issues here with the blog. I don't know I almost feel like I'm on another website. I don't. Hopefully this doesn't. Okay, so I don't know what this is. It's another language. So that's not good at all. So I mean, the whole blog section needs to be, someone needs to take a look at. I don't know what is happening here. I've never seen this. But it looks like it's in another language. And it looks like even, okay, so these two are exactly the same. So yeah, I mean, that's not good at all. We definitely don't want to see that. Now let's take a look at Screaming Frog. Screaming Frog done. Okay, yeah. Screaming Frog crawl is done. So let's take a look at that here. So the first thing we can do is just look at our issues. And it looks like, alright, so that's a plugin. Possibly some pagination issues. Okay, here, this is what I came across several times. We have all of these pages, 213 pages have multiple H1s. So we only want one H1 per page. And all these other things don't really seem that serious. Duplicate titles, again, this is those pages. This is hurting this site's ranks really bad because this is another language, I assume, and it shouldn't be. So let's take a look at the crawl. So I'm just going to go here through this. So we have some URLs that are HTTP, so they're unsecure or insecure. So we would want to fix those. No mixed content issues though. And then we're going to take a look at the internal, any kind of internal issues. Some redirects here. Got a couple. It looks like we really have one 400 error. This other one is a blog post. And it looks like it was just a extra slash at the end, which is strange. Looking at the external, so it looks like it's blocked in the robots. It's the link to Google Maps is blocked in the robots, which doesn't really make sense. I mean, if you're going to include map embeds and things like that, why block them? Let's see, got some redirects here. And so this is something that you definitely want to be on the lookout for, because all of these are external links going from the site, and they're all going to 400 errors. So this just hurts the credibility of the site a lot. This goes into EAT. So when it comes to that trust, authoritativeness, this doesn't look good, because these pages that we're linking out to don't even work. Take a look at the URLs. We have some URLs with non-ASCII characters. And so seeing something like this makes me believe that the site was more than likely hacked. When you see this kind of stuff, usually the site was hacked. And the best way to get hacked is with those insecure links. So we were looking at those pages that are just HTTP. So like these kind of pages, these leave you open to getting hacked. Of course, there's other ways to get hacked, but that's one of the big ones right there. So I'm willing to believe that this site got hacked, and that's why we have these pages. I'm willing to believe that they didn't even post these pages, that the hacker did, whoever hacked it. Again, Again, same issues with those URLs, but they're just long. Duplicate page titles still from those URLs, so I'm just going to go through this really quick. We have two. Okay, so one page, the H1 is the same as the title, and so we typically like to use a different H1 that allows us to target another keyword aside from the one that's in the title. So that's something we'd want to fix. We have 3 pages that are, the meta description is long. These are all category pages that are missing it. So that's fine. I don't think that's an issue. I have duplicate H1s, again, those strange pages. So it's always good to do technical audits, just because, I mean, you never know. You could get hacked and not even know it if you're not paying close attention to your site. Here's what I was talking about with the non-sequential H1s. So the H1 is not the first heading on the page. We typically want that to be the first heading. Here's what I was talking about with the non-sequential. Got a couple pictures missing alt text. Again, I think these are like the hacked pages. It's like the canonicals are fine. We got some paginated pages that are non-indexable, but they look like they're old. And you never want to do this with your paginated pages or anything. You never want to include URLs with years, because of course the year changes. So then that's just kind of these are kind of just dead pages. And if these look like they're category pages on top of that, so that's really not good. So don't include years, dates in your URL unless it absolutely makes sense. Category pages on top of that, so that's really not. Alright, I've got some directives here, so I'll take a look at that because I do want to pull up the robots.txt just to see what that looks like. Again, we have these same pages that look like they were hacked. They just have nothing to do with the law firm. Robots.txt just to see what that looks like. Pages with high crawl depth, which isn't necessarily an issue, and this looks like these are those strange pages again, so I'm just going to skip that. Pages with high external links. So these are pages that are pretty much just have links going out from them, and this is also not good to have because it just makes it look like it's just a page full of links. And I know some people in SEO call these doorway pages, where you just have straight links on the page. If it's a category page, that's usually fine. Of course, these look like those hack pages, so that's not good. But that's the only time really it's okay to see this. Otherwise, you want to fix that. Alright, with the structured data, looks like there's some warnings, but no errors, so that's fine. Looks like they're using attorney structured data, and that's another thing I could take a look at. But it looks like all the pages do have structured data, so they're more than likely using a plugin or something. But no errors, so that's fine. Oh, I did not set up the sitemap. I forgot to enter it, but I'll take a look at that as well. So yeah, that's the Screaming Frog crawl there. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the site because I was curious at, let's take a look at the robots. So yeah, that's the Screaming Frog crawl. So this is fine. There's a lot of people that do too much with the robots.txt. They want to put all these rules in here. And the only thing you really should be doing with this is, for example, if you have a search function on your site, you don't want those kind of pages to be indexed. And then you want to include your sitemap. So this sitemap is missing the S. So it's it's unsecure. Let's take a look at that. But it looks like it is secure, but just as a best practice, you should just have your sitemap in here with the secure on it. And so it looks like they have some strange sitemaps here. So like, let's take a look at this one. So this is from hosting, and then I assume this is just what they're signed in as. But we don't need that sitemap. That's kind of pointless. Again, we have this strange category pages. Look like they were hacked. I'm almost 100% sure they were hacked because of this one and this one. These are like, this is for sure hacked. If you see anything on your site talking about casinos or Forex, you are 100% hacked. So these pages are hacked right here. Let's go back to the sitemaps. This is strange. It's an attachment sitemap, but it looks like it has their about pages on there. Okay, see, so there's nothing here. This is just, looks like it's just the picture. So we don't need this sitemap either. You want to keep your sitemaps to a minimum. Unless you're a large e-commerce site where you're basically categorizing, say, products, categories, pages, blogs. You can separate all of those into different sitemaps. But for these smaller sites like this, we really just need a pages and a posts sitemap. So these are the pages. Again, just kind of strange the way the site is set up. It looks like we also have a HTML sitemap here, which is pretty outdated. So we don't need these anymore. We really just need the XML sitemap. And I know there's a lot of people that say, well, the HTML sitemap is for users. If the users need a sitemap to navigate your site, then that's bad. Like, they shouldn't need a sitemap just to navigate through your site. They should be able to navigate through the menu, through the pages. So we don't need an HTML sitemap here. Another strange page. We have directions here. And I know a lot of people just do this thinking that it's going to help with Google ranking them, knowing where their business is. But there's a lot of other better ways we can do this. For example, we should be using schema instead. Man, I don't know what's going on with OBS right now. Okay, so here we get to the contact page, and actually, I almost didn't realize the page changed because it looks exactly the same page, and actually map and directions page, except for there's no form on it. So this information that's on the directions page, it's here on the contact page. So that's page information. You could even add you can add this map embed here to this page, and that would be good. So this is another page that's pretty pointless to have. We have the thank you page here in the sitemap, so this should be no index because you don't want people landing on this page. So yeah, that's what I see there. Let's take a look. I guess there's really no point in taking a look at the post because we know that this site was hacked very clearly. So yeah, all of this is just pretty much just needs to be cleaned up when the site is fixed. So there you go. I think that was a pretty good rundown of this site and a lot of the things I would change. I don't really have anything else here. I wonder if maybe I should start taking notes for these site audits that I do. But this definitely took much longer than I was planning on it. I think I've been here for It's like 45 minutes now. So I want to do more of these, just really just getting sites and going through, giving my recommendations, just taking a look. I would like to move to a point where people can drop their own sites in the chat or in the comments, and then I can do a live audit for them. So make sure you sub up, make sure you turn on the notifications so you know when I'm doing stuff like this, and be on the lookout for my next video. I'm still working on it, but it's going to be really good, so make sure you check back for that. But otherwise, I appreciate you for joining the stream, and